Cryptozoology is, by its very nature, elusive. Thus, we cannot say that we are exactly bringing you the facts, but we will do our best to help you see these mythical legends as we do. So sit back, relax, and wait. What's that behind you? Never mind. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to episode what episode is it, Sid?
31.
I'm losing track.
It might be 30. This might be our
I
clean.
think
This
it's
might
30.
be our flirty 30 episode.
Flirty 30.
Flirty 30.
We're old enough to have a midlife crisis now.
I'm always old enough to have a midlife crisis.
Yeah, I decided having multiple crises over my lifetime was too much, so I've just decided to have one ongoing crisis.
You know what? That's valid. I support you in your decision to have an ongoing crisis.
You know what? I think it's time saving, it's energy saving,
It's easier on your schedule too. Like you don't have to schedule
is.
in a crisis day. Like you just schedule in parts of a day dedicated to the crisis.
Yeah, just a little bit every day.
Oh, and while we're on it, Merry Crisis to those that celebrate.
Yeah, we did our big crisis episode.
We did.
Christ Mass with Krampus.
A Krampus Christ
last
episode.
week, which was a beautiful endeavor. I love Krampus and all that he does. I think he's a pretty rad fellow.
He's a pretty rad fellow.
Yeah. Santa is he's like a goody two shoes, you know what he does on his weekends. He sits home and knits. Krampus, he fucking skateboards.
I sit at home and knit on my weekends.
Yeah, and I fucking skateboard, so we know who's who in this relationship.
Oh no. Oh no.
I've actually been getting back into skateboarding.
Yeah?
Yeah, until it snowed fucking half
we
a
got
foot on us last week.
Blanketed.
Yeah.
I felt so bad. It snowed so much here. I had a friend lose power.
Damn.
Properly lost power. And their water heater, I guess, is connected to their electrical system. So, it all went. I felt so bad.
Yeah. It's a rough time.
It's a rough go.
But this week we're not talking about power outages, snow, or Krampus. We're talking about
The
what?
Montauk Monster.
The Montauk Monster.
Yeah.
Is he posh? All I know about Montauk is that sometimes rich people go there.
Okay. I have never been to Montauk.
No. Me
I
neither.
do not know what happens in Montauk. I know nothing about the area.
I'm going to look up where Montauk is because I do not
New York.
I know it's in New York, but where in New York? Keep telling me about this creature while I look up his whole
I was
deal.
about to say something really stupid, so I'm glad you stopped me.
Oh, no, go for it.
I was I'm not really sure where New York is, to be fair. I know where it is.
Oh, I know where it is because I live there all the time. Oh, I have been to Montauk.
But here's the bit. Here's the rub. Apparently there are spots in Montauk where you can surf.
Yes, apparently.
Yes, and this is going to be relevant very shortly.
So Montauk, for people at home who are uncultured like me and Sid, apparently, Montauk is on Long Island. It is on the farthest side from New York City.
Okay.
So it is pretty isolated, granted that it is pretty close to the city itself. But it is it's right by East Hampton. You know?
Yeah.
East Hampton's a nice place that you hear about. Yeah. West Hampton, Hampton Bays, Southampton, Bridgehampton. There's a lot of Hamptons actually. Now I'm just reading a map. This is cool podcasting.
This is cool good podcasting. Map reading.
Cool good podcasting. Anyway, yeah, no, it's by the Hamptons.
Okay.
Montauk, yeah.
Montauk. So the
It's a
only
nice place.
so it's
Put it that
nice. It's a cool fancy place to live. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. This is beginning to make more sense, at least a little
Okay.
bit. Because rich people are weird.
True.
I'm going to say it. Rich people are weird. They tend to be eccentric. They tend to have certain viewpoints on things. They don't know how much bananas cost sometimes.
It's true.
And so I mention this because, like, come with me on this journey really quick. Picture this.
Mm-hmm.
You are in your early 20s, you know.
I am currently in my early 20s.
You're in the age you are now. You're with a group of your friends. You live in Montauk. Like, that's where you live.
I live in Montauk. Okay,
Yes.
so I'm not a rich person vacationing here.
You live there.
So I zoomed in on Montauk, and there's a place called the Sloppy Tuna.
Gross.
Yeah, right?
Gross.
Sorry, just had to interject. Just really had to tell somebody.
So, now the entire internet knows. Hello, guys. Thanks for coming with us on this cool journey.
Yeah, tweet at the Sloppy Tuna. I'll find them on Twitter.
Oh,
We'll have
no.
a good time.
Gross. But you live in Montauk, or you are vacationing there temporarily, but
Yeah.
you live either there or near there, and
Yeah.
you can surf.
I do surf, actually.
Yeah.
So it's basically just me, but I'm in Montauk.
In Montauk with a group of your similarly aged friends. And so,
Sure.
because you surf, you
Uh-huh.
will probably be out early in the morning to go and surf, because that's apparently when the waves are good.
Yeah.
Because the
Well, it
ocean.
depends on the tide, but yeah,
Yeah.
generally early morning's pretty good.
So you go out early morning, early on the 23rd of July, 2003.
Ooh, so it's like, summer beach party vibes.
Summer beach party vibes, but it's like early summer beach party vibes. So, like,
Kind of like Jaws, but on the East Coast.
yeah, except everyone's wearing juicy sweatpants. It's kind of how that shakes out, I think.
Are people wearing juicy? Wait, what year is this?
2003.
Okay, so yeah, everyone's
Yes.
wearing swimsuits and sweatpants with juicy on the ass.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm visualizing.
you're visualizing. It's velour. People have inflatable
Lots
chairs
of big
set up on the beach.
earrings.
Yeah.
Lots
silly
of plastic
bands, maybe?
jewelry. Silly bands for sure. I'm in my 20s.
Silly bands. Those slap bracelets.
Oh, yes, for sure, for sure.
All in that area. You're out there with your cool good friends, you're having a good time, you're driving out to the beach. It's early. And so you go to the beach for your cool good early morning 2000 surf.
I'm in a Jeep Wrangler, yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or
And
Subaru. I don't know why I think of Subaru as like an early 2000s car. But I do.
I almost drove a Subaru. I ended up with like a sedan, but like I looked at getting a
Yeah.
Subaru just because they can off-road,
Yeah. Right?
hypothetically.
That's why I looked into getting a Jeep, but I never did.
Yeah.
That's why in this version of me,
In
this
this version of
Montauk
you.
Marty,
Yeah.
I've got a Jeep Wrangler.
Okay.
We're chilling. We're
Chillin'.
surfing.
Surfing.
We're going to the beach. Early morning. What's next?
Going to the beach. You get to the beach. You begin to set up your cool surf cabana, whatever. And there's just a body.
Got mojitos. Oh
There's
shit,
a-
wait, did you say a body?
There's a body.
Like a human body?
Like, you don't know what it is. So you approach this body, right? And you look at it. And
How
As-
big?
as
Wait,
you
can
get
I-
closer, it gets worse.
Oh no.
It is
Does it
roughly
stink?
about the size of a very large cat.
So
But
like
It
like
has
a bread box.
bigger than a bread box.
Bigger than a bread box.
Bigger than a bread box.
Okay.
Bigger than a bread box. Smaller than probably somewhere in the realm of like a Razor scooter. So like
Okay.
if you were to take a Razor scooter and you were to fill it in and it makes a rectangle, the body would fit pretty squarely in that
So
rectangle.
two Razor scooters and you make a rectangle.
Two Razor scooters. Yeah, it would fit within two Razor scooters in our early 2000s version.
So not
of-
like a large cat, but like a more medium-sized dog.
Yeah.
A kind of
Yeah.
golden retriever size, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Like a golden retriever, but there's no fur.
No fur.
There's no fur. And as you get closer, you realize it has the legs of a raccoon.
So it has hands?
Yeah.
Ugh. I don't
It
like that
has
it has hands. It has little
rodent
tiny
teeth,
hands. Rodent teeth?
like two big front incisors, and nothing else.
Okay.
It looks, you'd think it were a dog in the fact that it like looks, it's like doggish in size, but it
Yeah.
has no, like, you know how dogs have eyebrows? Like they have that kind of eye ridge?
Yeah.
It has none of that. And again, raccoon feet. So that's a thing.
Okay.
And so it looks almost like a sheep or like a goat, kind of. You know how they have the legs that go like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has sharp teeth.
Hmm.
And it has no hair.
No hair.
And it's just lying on the ground on your cool beach, interrupting your cool beach morning trip.
Yeah, I'd be like, this has definitely ruined my Mojito Monday.
This has definitely ruined your Mojito Monday. You can actually look up what this thing looks like.
Okay.
Tell me if I'm right, because it does have
Okay.
like visible hands and what look to be like visible feet, like weirdly human foot paw pad things, and also a tail.
It has a tail too? Oh my god, I see it.
You see it?
Oh my god.
Do you understand why I struggled so hard to like describe this thing?
Yeah.
It looks like fur, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not. It's like leathery.
So this thing looks okay for the viewers at home. This thing its front half looks like a sea otter.
Like a turtle. Almost.
Yeah, it looks like a turtle face with like sea otter front half, and then like the back half is a dog.
Yeah, I'd say
I
say
don't.
that's pretty
Yeah.
close. The only problem is this thing has hands and like
Yes, it does seem to have literal hands.
yeah.
I dislike.
Yeah. So this is what you find with your cool good beach friends. Oh, I got the date wrong. It's 2008. I'm sorry. Not 2003.
Oh, okay. I hate looking at this thing. I'm not gonna tweet out a picture of this actually because it's very gross.
But you should go look
You
up
can
a picture.
you can look it up on your own time, but it is like I have to like look away from my screen for a little bit.
Yeah, no, it is. It is kind of sickening.
Ugh.
So you find that just on the beach.
Uh-huh.
And so there's like a cluster. Of course, this forms a cluster of people around this thing.
Oh yeah.
Cause like,
If I'm out there, I'm calling all my buddies. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
what is it? And
What
so
is it? Someone poke it with a stick. Maybe
I'm sure
it
they did.
moves. If it does, we all yell and we run. We just run.
just run. You leave because
Just run.
as
If
this
it doesn't
is happening,
move, I might puke.
if it doesn't move, I might keep it. Hey, funny you should
No,
mention
not
that.
keep it. Not keep it. I said puke.
Hey, funny you should mention that. So yeah, this happens. You go out with your friends. You find this thing on the beach.
Uh-huh.
Of course, what do you do at this point in time? You call the newspapers.
I think I give it a mojito. And I'm just like, fuck it. And I'm like, I got up early to go surf. That's what I'm doing. Here's a mojito. Drink it off.
There's a mojito, drink it off. Yeah, this is the photo. If you're looking at the photo, I think you are. That was the photo that was published, like, in the newspaper.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So they did actually, like, this is, like, actually the photo of it.
this is the photo of it. Yeah. And so, at first, they were like, oh, like, maybe it's a weird turtle that lost its shell, you know, and I guess there's, like, an animal disease center near there.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like, It's a mutant animal from the Plum Island Animal Disease Center. Like, this thing is a mutant and it got out, which honestly seems pretty plausible. You know,
Yeah.
it looks so weird. Like, if this were
It looks like a
2008,
very big mole.
it does. So, if this were 2008, you know what? I'd be like, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gross. And so they keep having these interviews, like these newspaper articles go out and all that. And it gets to the point where they are offered to, like, speak on a TV show. Yeah?
Uh-huh.
And so this group of friends get interviewed on this TV show. And they're like, so what happened to this thing? Because they got a picture, but then, like, the body disappeared, you know?
Uh-huh.
So everyone's like, what happened? Where did it go? And she's like, oh, someone just took it.
Oh.
Like, someone just
Oh, no.
took it, you know, and it's gone now.
Ah.
And
I don't like that they just took it.
I think the quote was
Put
like,
that thing back. What the fuck?
yeah. Like, if this were a
Ew.
fish, throw that one back in the water, Chief. Like, it ain't ready yet.
I feel like looking at the thing, it's definitely dead.
Very
It
definitely.
feels like if you touched it, it would, like, feel like jelly and come apart like Jello.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Ooh, no. No.
Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It looks like it would be clammy. Like, you'd touch it and it would
Yeah,
be, like,
and it's,
leathery
like-
and clammy and gross.
Yeah, I really don't like it, and I would never touch it. So, like,
No.
why would a person choose to do that?
Yeah.
Is baffling and hurtful.
Hurtful. Directly hurtful.
And yeah, no. Like, this is like I talk about how I'm, like, gonna fight every creature, right? Like, last week I was like, I'll fight Krampus, sure. But here's the thing. I wouldn't fight this because I really don't want to touch it. I really don't want to touch it.
I feel like
it's so nasty.
if it were a video game and I hit this thing, I would take psychic damage.
Yeah, no, I'm
Like-
not sure I could see this thing and interact with it for more than a couple minutes before literally yardsing.
I have a question for
Ugh.
you and for the audience. Now that
Okay.
we've described this creature and we've, like, talked about it a little bit, you have a pretty good
Uh-huh.
image of it in your mind, or the image of it in front of you if you've gone and
Literally
looked
an
it up.
image in front of me, yeah.
Yeah. What sound do you think this thing makes?
I think this thing makes something akin to, like, a hawk screech, but like
Because-
really weak,
Yeah.
like a very sick hawk,
Like, just a sick, tired hawk.
like a very sick hawk that might be in the middle of throwing up.
Oh, gross.
That's
There's a
what it's.
hawk outside my window right now, and all I can picture is that.
It feels like hearing this thing would make your skin feel like moist and sticky.
Now, I was gonna ask, if this thing does make a sound, do you think it would have, like, an area of effect Medusa sort of effect? Where you, like, you don't have to look at it, you just have to hear it, and then your skin just sort of gets all leathery like his does? And that's
I
just
think
how it is.
no, I think that this thing, like, either one of two things happens when you hear it.
Mm-hmm.
One, it's terrible and you just, like, have this very visceral and upsetting, like, vibe go through your body.
Yeah.
Or two, it's like the, like, one note you hear supposedly that can kill you instantly.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That's what
Hey.
I think.
Wait a minute, I just processed this. Did you say you were gonna yarts?
Yeah. Why?
like my brain glossed over that, and then I immediately like was processing from like a few bits ago, and I was like, wait a minute.
I'm gonna say yarts is objectively the best way to say that.
That's fair.
Yep.
That's fair. I always say I'm gonna get sick.
I'm gonna yarts.
Gonna yarts.
It's good. Gotta admit.
The only thing I can imagine is like in a horror movie, you know, when they come across like the monster and someone's like, "Ugh, I'm gonna be sick," just like, "Ugh, I'm just gonna yarts."
Ugh, I'm gonna yarts.
Just
See,
like,
it's so good.
I want a comic book style panel where the onomatopoeia for it is yarts, like in that big yellow like bubble letter text.
Yarts.
Just yarts. Oh my gosh. We don't. I asked that question because we don't know what sound this thing makes. There are no sightings, sort of, because it was found dead. There's just a series of the most suspicious, like, transcriptions ever as they're trying to figure out what happened to the body of this thing.
Well, I think that one theory, my personal theory after reviewing the evidence, is that the sound that this thing would make is sound of you trying to force every jet of a hot tub through an animal.
Oh my god. I hate that I feel like I know what that sounds like.
Yeah.
Like
I'm just here to create some
gargling
very
sort
visceral,
of.
yeah, some very visceral imagery for everyone here at home and on the show.
This is
not
this is
good
a
imagery.
gross episode. This is an episode that's just gonna have to go
This is
right in
gonna.
the garbage.
It's literally. I think we just titled this episode "Gross Warning."
Gross
like,
warning.
I think that's it.
Gross. It's
I'm
just
so
nasty.
sorry to everyone who has to listen. This thing is so gross.
Cause like, it's not. The thing is, it's not big enough to make me feel like it would be violent, except for the fact that it has sharp teeth and weird crime little hands.
Little crime hands, yeah.
Little crime hands. He has dirty little crime hands, and he died on a beach in Montauk.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Sharp little feral teeth and weird little nubbin feet, and no brow
feels
ridge.
like he got there by robbing a bank.
He got there by robbing a bank.
Yeah.
He was trying to rob a bank on Plum Island and just couldn't make the swim back to shore. This is a legitimate question, and it's probably kind of dumb, but I feel like I should ask this. Is Long Island actually an island, or is it a peninsula?
Yeah, it's an island.
Okay. I figured it was, but like people drive to it
Originally-
so often, I get confused, and so I figure there's just like a bridge or something? Yeah?
There's a lot of bridges. Yes.
Okay, cool.
There's, I think, 16 bridges and tunnels into New York City.
That's a lot.
I might be wrong on that, but
That's a
yeah.
lot. See, I am unabashedly bad at geography.
I've just been there a lot because my dad's side of the family is from there, so
Yeah.
just been to New York a lot.
I go to Canada a lot, and that's not really going to help me here.
Canada is like, from the times I've been there, it feels like if you took like Midwestern America and you made it not horrific. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's just a general aura of like if you're not in a city, you're not safe
Yeah,
in
no.
the Midwestern US. I don't know if it's just because it's so big
See,
or what,
okay.
but
This is
Canada
something
feels just like a little bit safer.
This is something that I've actually like had people talk to me about, is that feeling of not feeling safe in rural Ohio or like any rural Midwestern area.
Yeah.
I personally do not get that fear just because I grew up in this area, but I also have like things that don't make sense, if that makes like any idea. Like I'm like, oh, like don't get near a pig pen, and all my friends from the city are like, what do you
Why
mean? I'm like,
not?
no, they'll eat you.
Yeah,
like
no,
they'll
don't,
bite you.
Don't do it.
Like don't
Yeah,
do it.
If
And
you
they're
lay
like,
down in a pig pen, they will eat you.
they
That's
will
just
eat
a
you.
fact.
I'm like, that's just how it
Yeah.
is. I know that. And I'm also like, you
Yeah.
don't go into a cow pen if you don't know the cows. And they're like, what? They're herbivores. And I'm like, yeah, but they're
But
dumb.
they'll kill you.
And they'll kill you. Like,
They're very big, they're very dumb, and they're very easily frightened.
Yeah, I'm like, you'll die.
You'll die.
You'll die. But just like that to me is common sense because I grew up in the area, but then to a lot of my friends, it's so foreign and weird to them that like big open spaces just tend to make them nervous.
I think part of it, the reason that this fear is like starting to become instilled in me, is
Yeah.
that in Vermont, where I live for most of the year, uh, I am literally always surrounded by mountains. There is
Yeah.
no like flat horizon line anywhere ever. Like, but here in Ohio, there is just like constantly like just this flat horizon line.
Yeah.
Like, can see ostensibly forever, but like you know you can't because the Earth curves.
Yeah.
But it's just like that. You feel so exposed here. It's weird. I don't like it.
Because I know the fear of open spaces is like a thing. Because I tend to be a person, I am very, very afraid of the ocean. I have made that blatantly clear, I think. That I don't trust the ocean, I don't trust rivers, I don't trust bodies of water. I don't even like
I
lakes.
love rivers.
Like, I don't trust them.
I love water.
There's stuff in there, and I don't trust it, and it wants me
That's
whacked.
valid.
You know? Like, it does.
Yeah.
So, I think of places like the idea of surfing sounds so cool, but also so gut-wrenchingly terrifying at the same time. Just because
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't trust the water enough to let it suspend me. You know?
I mean, that's what it does though. Like it's fine. Like I feel like there's a lot of fear with water where it's like you need to be exposed to it. But I
Yeah.
feel like fear of like that kind of like general uneasiness of being in Ohio is like being exposed to it only makes it worse.
Probably. Because, like, the
Yeah.
more time you spend in rural areas, the more weird things you learn, and the more you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Because as I go south, I tend to get nervous just because there's so much flat land.
Yeah.
Like you get over the mountains, and then it's just flat, and it's so hot. And I'm like, I could pass out in a field, and no one would find me for weeks. Like,
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
hot. I don't trust it.
The heat is terrible. I hate the South just because of the heat. Like, not even gonna talk about just how that place is. Just everything's weird and bad, and it's hot, and I don't like it. Sorry.
You've talked about your opinions on Cracker Barrel, which
Yeah.
my
Just like,
only experience with the South is driving through it to go to Florida, and the one time I went on a college tour to Georgia Tech. That's it. That's all I got.
I've done a lot of vacationing on the Florida Keys, and that is an event. Always. There was one time that I went into a, like, God, I think it was just like Key West, and someone was like, "Here, you need to try this," and I was like, "Okay," and then they gave me a key lime pie on a stick covered in chocolate.
That sounds so good.
It was, but like, who thinks of that? You know?
Florida.
Yeah, Florida, of course.
It's like the
Florida.
same energy that going into a Midwestern like a fair, like a county fair.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen county fair food booths?
Yes.
The Frankenstein aspect of how they treat food is mind-numbing. It is
It is.
incredible,
Yeah.
and
If
it
you
will.
think about it for too long, it does hurt you.
It does hurt. It will.
Yeah. You
Like-
don't think, just consume.
Here's a cool fun fact. I am lactose intolerant. I know this, and I've still
Yeah.
eaten deep fried cheesecake. I felt like I was
Me
going to
too.
die, like unironically.
Yeah. It's not a good experience.
Not a
Being
joke.
lactose intolerant and eating dairy is terrible. It sucks because one of my favorite foods is mozzarella sticks, and I just have accepted the price of having mozzarella sticks.
I just started taking Lactaid. This is what I started doing.
See, I should do that.
You probably should. Because, like, I can make. That's another thing that I don't think they tell you. Like, tailgate culture is a thing. And that also
Oh, yeah.
makes terrifying Frankenstein creations of food. Because
Yep.
I can make mozzarella sticks. Like, I can make mozzarella sticks, I can do wings, and I can make devil dogs.
Hmm.
No one knows what a devil dog is.
No.
It is kind of like a ho-ho in a way. It's 2 slabs of chocolate cake and, like, you just pipe cream through the entirety of it.
Uh-huh.
And that's it. That's the ticket. So you make those, you do wings, and you do, like, just all sorts of... And you do mozzarella sticks. And
Yeah.
literally everything you make, at least once, someone will ask you to deep fry it. And I'm like, what? Why? Like, what? For
It's
what
'cause
purpose?
you can. I went to a restaurant here where they just had a deep fryer and they were like, fuck it. We'll deep fry Oreos and ice cream and that's dessert. So yeah, deep fried Oreos and ice cream. I've mentioned this to people who are not from Ohio and they look at me like I personally have committed this sin.
You personally have... What?
Have committed this sin. Have done this to this food.
You've, yeah, deep fried it.
But I didn't deep fry it. Someone else did. I just ate it.
Like, we have a deep fryer. Like, my parents own a deep fryer. And at one point in time, they deep fried bacon and covered it in chocolate. It is...
Oh my god.
a lot. It is a lot.
That is like the true Ohio experience right there.
The true Ohio experience
Deep fried
is...
bacon covered in chocolate.
Yeah, and you want to know what I'm mad about? It was good.
Yeah, that's often
Like-
the worst part of these horrible, horrible food monsters.
It was good. Like, I
they're
enjoyed
good.
it. Yeah. Because it was candied bacon, I guess. Like, I think you can do that.
Yeah.
And then you deep fried it and then covered it in chocolate. And it was good. And I remember being like 6 or 8 years old. And
So
eating
there's
it.
a place here. If you're not from Ohio or like the surrounding area, you might not know what the fuck Bob Evans is.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Evans is a breakfast place, and they've
Yeah.
recently started selling candied bacon. But the way that they do it is absolutely absurd.
What did they do?
It is literally just served to you in a mason jar.
What?
Just a mason jar chocolate block full of candied bacon.
Why?
I don't know.
Why couldn't you just put it on a plate like a normal
I
person?
don't. Because you can put it in a jar, I guess.
I mean, I guess you could, sure, but like,
I don't know.
I don't
I don't know
know.
why they
I don't
chose
know.
to do that, but that's what they did, and
'cause like,
people order it.
I'm sure they do. Like, I'm based on what Bob Evans serves, I am 100% certain that they do.
Oh my
Like,
god.
Bob Evans
Do you
also
think-
serves. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
I'll
like
bring up my point.
there are a lot of breakfast places in Ohio. Like, you got a
Mhm.
ton of Waffle House chains. You got IHOP. You got Bob Evans. You got like absolutely tons of breakfast places, and
Yeah,
a lot of
chock-a-block
them do
full.
like sausages. You know, like you can get like
Uh-huh.
sausage patties and stuff.
Yeah.
My concern, I say concern, but it's sort of like it's used in a very like general sense. In the fact that
Your
I
fear.
don't know what to do. Fear is
Yeah,
better.
Your fear.
Is like, I never know how big a sausage patty's gonna be, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like, I
it's-
know how big a sausage link is. It's roughly about the same size as a finger. Like, you're good to go.
Yeah.
I know what that is. You order a sausage patty, and I have had anywhere from like little bitty
A
ones.
quarter. Yeah.
A quarter.
A quarter to like bigger than my hand.
Yeah, like my fist size of a sausage patty. And
Yeah.
oftentimes you either get like 2 sausage links or you get 2 sausage patties. So it's always a toss up on like how much food I'm going to have to consume,
Yeah.
you know? And like,
It's a
it's
gamble.
never a bad thing. I'm never going to say no if it's like bigger than what I thought it would be.
But don't you
but,
just
like-
hate it when it's smaller?
It's so,
It's so bad.
it's like, because there's never enough fat to cook them too. So they always end up like little pucks. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
what happened?
Terrible.
Terrible. We have taken quite a detour.
Speaking of food crimes, do you think the person that took the Montauk Monster
Committed a food crime?
committed a food crime
Abso-fucking-lutely.
with this beast,
They seem like a
this
person
beach
who
beast?
would commit.
There's a lot of alliteration in this episode.
There is a lot of alliteration. But, like, I feel like the type of person who would steal a monster, like a corpse of a monster that washed up on a beach, would commit a food crime.
Well, think about that. Like, if you had the chance to, like, eat a cryptid,
Yeah?
would you? Would
No.
you do it?
No. No.
Not at all.
I mean, okay. It depends on the cryptid. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
There are some, like the Goat Man, that I don't think I could do it. It's too human, you know? Like, I can't.
Like,
I
I
can't
guess
eat
it.
that.
I guess it depends.
Yeah.
Cause like there are a lot of cryptids that I would be like, that's just it's just like a modified animal,
Yeah.
you know? But then there like no cryptid looks like it would be tasty, if that makes sense. Like none of the ones that we've
That's
talked
so
about.
true.
They're either too human or too weird.
Yes.
Like
You know,
You-
the one that I always think of when someone's like, would you eat a cryptid?
yeah.
Which happens more often than I'd like to admit. But the one that always comes to mind is the Flatwoods Monster for me. I don't know why.
I was actually gonna mention about that. That the Flatwoods Monster would be the one that I feel like I would be okay with
Yeah.
eating.
It looks strange, but like very. Like, it looks like someone's salad plate came to life. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, I feel like it would just be sort of metal flavor.
Yeah.
If you did choose to
At
eat it, it would
worst.
just sort of clang, you know?
Yeah.
And I wanted to also mention very quickly, I need to double check the name because we've done so many of these boys that I do not remember what they're called. The Fresno Nightcrawlers.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I would be okay with.
I
Just
feel like
because
they taste like.
they look like they taste
pixie
like
sticks.
marshmallows.
Yeah,
like sugar.
I had the thought of like they're just like pretty much just bags full of sugar.
Yeah.
Like that's just kind of, I don't know.
I feel like this boy would taste like oh my god, I do not remember the name of it, but you know that once like smoked or smelted herring that smells so strongly that it makes people ill?
Yes, this
I
thing
feel like
will.
it would taste like that.
This thing would
Sir
be
Strumig.
bad. What did you say?
Surströmming
Sir Strumming. Oh
is
yeah.
what it's called.
Yeah, no, I would not eat this thing because it's a dead animal that washed up on a beach.
Yeah.
But
no.
I'm like 60% sure the person that took it did eat it.
Yeah.
I might actually have 2 yards after this episode.
I may too. This is gross.
Yeah, just we've really pushed ourselves into a very gross corner here.
This is gross.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Do we have anything else going for this
Anything else
boy?
going for this guy? Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't tell you about the suspicious as hell conversations people had after this thing disappeared.
Oh yes, tell me please.
Because pretty much what happened is they went on a show and they were talking about it and they were like, oh, where'd the body go? And the person who saw it, I don't know if I mentioned her name is Jenna Hewitt of Montauk and her friends. She's just like, a guy took it and put it in the woods in his backyard and did not say who the guy was or like where he took it to or even how she knew this information.
Did she just watch him take it?
I guess she did, because then they went and talked to her dad, and her dad denied that his daughter was keeping the body's location a secret, which is incredibly suspicious. I'm just gonna say that now.
Yeah, it's Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
it does seem very suspicious.
that it's like, you knew who took it, you knew that they put it in their backyard, but you will not tell us who has it and where they put it.
It's because they ate it.
Yeah, they either ate it or pickled it or put it in a jar and it's like hidden in their basement. Like, I don't know.
It's
Maybe they
suspended
gave it
in
a nice
fluid and
funeral.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also a theory. Also a cool, fun, quick aside theory. You mentioned earlier that you're like, oh, what if this dude robbed a bank? What
if
if
it
these
robbed a
were his
bank?
heist partners? And they were like so
Oh
devastated that he
shit!
died during the escape that they buried him in someone's backyard.
his his little heist buddies. They
Yeah.
all look like this thing, but in like a human suit. It's like Alien, not Alien, Men in Black,
Good lord.
where they're all just in a little suit.
I yeah, I don't know.
You mentioned we had some theories
We did.
about the sky, what this thing might be.
About
'Cause
what this
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to know.
So, there's a few different theories between like scientists and people who have looked at it. Someone was like, "Oh, it's a turtle without the shell, like it has a little beak thing, it looks a lot like a turtle, you know." But then there was some more like research. Turtle shells can't be really removed in a way that
Yeah,
would leave the
because
Montauk
that's their
Monster.
spine.
Yeah, because it's attached to their spine. But then they were like, is it like a big rodent? What is it? So it goes through like a whole bunch of different options where they're like, is it a raccoon? Is it a turtle? Is it a rodent? Is it a dog? Is it a sheep? You know, like, what is it? And
Yeah.
so they take it to a few different like research people. William Wise, director of Stony Brook's Living Marine Resources Institute, takes a look at this thing, and they're like, this thing just isn't real. Like, someone made this.
This is paper mache.
This is paper mache and, like, a terrible, terrible botched, like, what's it called? Taxidermy job.
Oh, interesting.
Like a botched taxidermy job. And then his next best guess was that the creature could have been just a diseased dog or coyote that was just in the sea for a while. And now just looks like that.
Yeah.
And then they sort of send it to a paleozoologist, Darren Nash, Naish, and he just sort of, he looked at the photograph, looked at the corpse, and was sort of like, okay, this is just a really, really, really messed up raccoon. Just because of the hands.
Interesting.
And they were like, it looks weird like that because, like, it decomposed and, like, the salt water or, like, the fact that it was just in water for a really long time had removed the animal's hair and some of the flesh. And so he then, like, provided an image of a raccoon's body superimposed over the corpse in the photograph. And,
I've
like,
seen that.
yeah, they made it to Fox News.
Oh, interesting.
Where Jeff Corwin also identified the carcass of that as a raccoon. So odds are it's a really, really messed up raccoon that just, like, had been in the ocean for a while. But the fact that they brought this to a guy who, like, identifies animals and all that, and he just sort of went, no, like, that's not a thing, is so funny to me.
Yeah.
Like, they brought it to him, and they're like, hey, have a look at this. And he's like, no. As a matter of fact, I will not have a look at this.
I mean, it's pretty big for a raccoon. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Like, looking at it.
It's big, but, like, it could just be a bloated raccoon from being in the sea that long.
Yeah,
you know?
it could be bloated. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's just...
Man, one thing I've learned is I dislike this thing.
I don't like it either.
There was a theory that I saw when I was looking up the pictures, was that it was a dump from a dog fight. Because they've had similar things wash up in, like, other places around New York.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
I'd never considered that. Yeah.
That was one theory that I saw when I was looking up into the pictures.
Could have been a dog fight. I guess, like, I forget that dog fights exist to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. It's terrible. But yeah.
Yeah.
Man, this creature is the one that we've researched so far that I'm, like, we did the research on it, and now I like it a lot less.
I know it is pretty gross.
It's
Uh,
yeah, he's a nasty boy,
he is a
and I
nasty, nasty
dislike.
boy. And like, I think the main thing that I just keep going back to on this guy is someone stole the body.
Why?
Like,
Why?
why would you? And
There's
then they
no
were super
reason.
shady about it. Like, nobody
Yeah.
wanted to say anything about it. Everyone was super like sketchy when they were like, "Oh, did your daughter take the body?" He's like, "Of course not. She would never do such a thing." And I'm like, "Really?" Because the way you're phrasing it makes me feel like she did do that thing. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like something happened there, Chief. I'm no
Yeah,
Sherlock
I feel
Holmes,
like
but
there's
like,
definitely like a layer beneath this. Like that's why like the dogfight theory has some credence to me is like maybe these people knew what it was and why it was there,
and they needed
you
it
know?
gone. Yeah,
Yeah, and they wanted it
yeah,
gone.
that's possible.
There's definitely like some level of conspiracy with
To it.
this
Yeah, that
that
something else
is
would have had to have been going on for this to be like a thing.
yeah, because it's obviously like the body was covered up and taken before authorities could get there, and it's like, you know,
Yeah, like something came and got this thing. Like they
yeah,
found it.
someone came and got this thing.
There was a photo, and then immediately like someone was on that and picking it up.
Yeah,
So I'm looking at the time.
yeah.
Are we gonna make it through the entirety of this episode without you telling me it's a bird? Are we gonna do that?
No,
No.
because I was really saving this. I really, really, really wanted you to think you were gonna get away with it.
I was so excited. I really was. I was looking at the time. I'm seeing us get closer and closer, and I'm like, we're finally gonna do it. We're gonna have an episode without any bird theory. It's gonna
But
be
the
great.
thing is, what's the most common thing to wash up dead on beaches?
Whales, usually.
Birds. Because
Jellyfish.
there's a lot of birds.
Jellyfish.
Crabs maybe, but birds
Fish.
mostly. Look, this could have been
Octopi.
a really bad day for a bird.
A really bad day for a bird with hands. For a bird with hands and sharp teeth.
Look, it just looks like some, like, it just looks like the, like, stump kind of deviates. That could be feathers. You don't know.
I
Maybe the reason that it doesn't have, look, if you look at it, it looks like a turkey. Like the back half kind of looks like a turkey that came out of the oven.
do
But,
not
like,
want to consider
A
that.
little too early.
I do not want to consider that. That is disgusting. That is so gross.
So, I mean, you know,
That's so gross.
it could have been a very big seagull.
Sure.
And the reason that it didn't have any feathers on it. You know what? I'm going to actually stick to turkey. Maybe
Are
it
you
was
going
a
to say
turkey.
that someone plucked a turkey and
Plucked
threw
a
it
turkey.
into the harbor? Or like
No,
into the
didn't
Montauk?
throw it into the bay. They were on a boat. They were doing a cool luau. Had a big turkey.
In New York?
Yes, on a boat. It's summer. They're partying. It's beach day vibes.
A luau in New York.
And they dropped it in the ocean. And then this guy was like, well, I paid a lot for this very big turkey. And then he took it back.
I do not want to consider the implications on your health in eating a turkey that you got from the ocean.
Look,
It's a whole new meaning to chicken of the sea, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
this could be a chicken. You're right. Didn't even consider that. Could be a
That'd
chicken
be
of the sea.
Big chicken. That'd
What if
be a
this
big
is just
chicken.
what chickens look like when they're in the water?
Is this why we don't see chickens swim? It's like an H2O situation where they touch the water and transform into something horrific.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no. Oh. No. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I was so excited too. I was like, we're gonna make it through the episode. You were backing me up. You were like, here's my dogfight theory. I'm like, this is great. We're gonna make it through an entire episode where I don't have to defend a creature that obviously is not a bird.
Look,
They made a list
all
of
I'm
possible animals this critter could be, and bird isn't even on there.
all I'm saying, could have been a bird.
Could have been
We'll
a
never
bird.
know because someone ate it. And what do you do with birds? A lot of times you eat them,
All I could
unless it's a
picture
parrot.
was you, like, grabbing a songbird, like, just a regular outside robin, and just grabbing it with both hands and, like, taking it inside and just cooking it. Please,
Don't.
leave the birds
Please
alone.
don't do that. Leave
They
the
do
birds
not deserve
alone.
this. They're under enough assault by hawks right now as it is anyway, please.
Yeah, no, actually, the first thing I thought when you shared your research with me, and I saw that it was a thing that washed up on a beach, I was like, could have been a bird.
I think every time I send you the research, your gut instinct is could have been a bird.
Could have been a bird.
Could have been a bird.
Look, all I'm saying is possible.
Yeah.
It's not
I guess it
outside of the realm of possibilities.
One of these days. One of these days, we're gonna have, like,
Look, we went a couple of episodes without bird theory. I'm gonna be honest.
you tried to convince me Krampus was a bird.
Look, Krampus might have been a bird. How else does he get to from house to house so fast?
Oh no.
He flies.
I feel like you're gonna retroactively bird theory me one of these days, where you just, like, very quietly bait me into thinking that a critter is a bird and then be like, psych, this is not a bird, it's like this reason. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
We're gonna get there.
I'm gonna have a
someday.
cryptid that is so painfully a bird, and you're gonna look me dead in the eyes and tell me it isn't. Like, there's nothing
Look,
I can
if it's
do.
a bird, all I gotta tell you is it's a bird.
I can't win here.
Look.
Chat, I can't win.
Hey, we're not live right now. There's no chat.
Chat's in my heart.
Chat's in my soul.
Chat's in my soul. Chat lives there now.
If you do want to see us live, though, come check us out on Twitch. We stream every Thursday from 8:30 to 10:30. Except for this Thursday, because it's New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Whoops.
Oopsie. It's
Oopsie.
okay. We will be doing a makeup stream, hopefully sometime this next weekend in the new year. But everyone enjoyed the last fleeting, painfully long, definitely not even a second, but like 3 goddamn years left of 2020. Just enjoy it, I guess.
Please don't jinx it. I'm crossing my fingers we get through this and it's uneventful as possible. I don't want to think about this year again when we get out of it.
Yeah, I'm ready for this year to be over. But thank you all for tuning in with us over this year. It's been a blast. We've grown so much. This podcast has come a long way.
Definitely.
Since the 5 episodes that were out this time last year. Like, we're just so happy
Yeah.
to see our community grow and to be there to grow alongside with you. This has been an amazing year, and we look forward to many more to come.
We do. Hey, you want to hear a fun fact?
Yes.
The first few episodes of this podcast were recorded on my iPad for my audio track.
And where are you now, Sid?
I got a new microphone for Christmas, and I hope my audio sounds good.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we're making a lot of progress, a lot of big strides. It's been so incredible to see this community grow.
Yeah, and thank you for being able to support us through all of this.
Yeah.
If you want to support us even more, you can tweet about the show, like, share, whatever you want. Thank you so much. And until next time,
We'll see y'all in the woods.